Hello, bookish people. This is Jahirul. We are less than 24 hours away from this year's Booker Prize winner announcement, and I'm excited. I initially wanted to make individual reviews about all the six shortlisted book for this year, but my laziness brought me only to three. So I'll try to explain my feedback about the other three in depth when I share my ranking. I have made my ranking for the shortlisted book according to my preference. So while I share the ranking, I'll try to explain why I put a particular book in that position, and I will also explain if that particular book wins, what style exactly was in the role of getting it the Booker Prize. So in at 6 I have Western Lane by Chetna Maru. I have made a review about that. It is a story about a young girl who plays squash and has a life's difficulty because after her mother dies. So I particularly did not find anything worthy of getting it the Booker Prize. So it is at the bottom of my list. But if Western Lane won, it will win because it shows grief in a very implicit way, which resembles our real life. In our real life, we face many unexpected turns. Our life changes, and we don't go to people and just keep saying that I have that difficulty. My life is going bad, or we don't express that. Even if we have our family, we don't tell everything to them, and we don't tell that we're not liking what others are doing to our life. Is that what Western Lane shows? And if Western Lane wins, it will win only for that, is what I think. In at 5 I have The Beasting by Paul Murray. I know that a lot of people like this book, and many of the Booker Prize analysts are rooting for this book to win, but I disagree on that. I made a one more video about that as well, where I explained that the book is much more dramatic. It is a really big book, so when the author wrote 200 pages for no reason, and he kept the reader for a really long time, he wanted to justify that, so he tried at the end to bring a lot more drama that was not needed. So I don't think the Beasting should win this year's Booker Prize, but it can win. And if it wins, it will win it will win for its edition of LGBT at the end. Again, I felt like that was more much more dramatic, and it didn't go with the first part of the book. But people have sentiments about that, and that can be a reason for that. And again, like, one more strong point of the book is its character building. Whenever a character was there narrating that their part of story, that character seemed to be the main character of the book. And like, there was a certain age range of one character, where a character was presented in the story being a mother of two child, and when we went to her past, her dialogues or her life choices made her look like teenager, which is really awesome. And that might be a reason for the Beasting to win this year's not Booker Prize. In at number 4 I have The Study for Obedience. I initially liked the book. It is rhythmic and it has the sweetness or the calmness that the setting of the book needed. The book was set in a much calmer place where woman was residing in her brother's absence in her brother's home, and I really liked the prose, the description of this settings, and like I have a soft corner for nature, so I love that. So that can be a reason for study for obedience to win this year's Booker Prize, but I don't want this to win because I have seen much more better books of calmness of nature. For instance, The Colony, which was longlisted previous years. So The Colony was really good. So Late in the Day was there's a story in So Late in the Day, which explains nature even more. In All God's Time, we had a really good description of nature. So if those books didn't win Booker, I don't think Study for Obedience should win it only because it has a good description of nature. In my number three, I have Paul Lynch's Prophet Song. Uh, if again Many people liked Prophet Song. I loved it because of its didactic preference that it brings. It teaches us a lot of stuff. It teaches us that not all violence in our world has logics, and that's a really good moral lesson that we get in this situation. War or killing people or taking people from the family has no logic, and the book implicitly says that, and I love that fact. But the reason why it's in number three is the prose. The book does not have any prose attached to the feeling of the character or the violence. It doesn't have good sentences that can stop a reader from reading and make them wonder. There was some good prose or good sections where there was a section when a child said that she wanted to die like her father because they took her father. So that was a good scene that was written in the book. Other than that, yeah, Paul Lynch's Prophet Song can win, and I won't be real mad if Prophet Song win, but it's definitely not my first choice. In at number two, I have uh, Jonathan S. Corfis, If I Survive You. This is the book that I started reading the first when the short long list was announced, and I stopped reading the book after I finished page 60, the first two stories. It's a book of short stories which are quietly connected, and I would say the first part was quite boring. But as we go along with the story, it gets interesting and it has a much more lesson. And these lessons are not, given forcefully. The lessons come naturally. He did not try to explicitly express what lesson should we get, and Jonathan brought humor to the book, and you know the humor connected with race is something really worth reading. And like in last international Booker Prize shortlist, we had one book, Standing Heavy, that does the same, and I wanted Standing Heavy to win international Booker Prize, which it didn't. But If I Survive You has that much laughter and lesson brought together with a sensitive topic like race, which is really tremendous and is worthy of winning the Booker Prize, and it can win. But I want this book, This Other Eden, which is in the number one rank uh, of my preference, because I'm just mesmerized. I'm just mesmerized with Paul Harding and his writing skills. Uh, the story is so good. It has lessons, but it has rhythm as well. It has literature in it. The prose are so beautiful when the author explained paintings. It felt like the words are printing a painting in a canvas. Everything was beautiful. All Every single sentence was so rhythmic, and it brought so much thought in my mind while I was reading it, and it's so beautiful. And This Other Eden is one of the best book I've read this year. So now and I really want this other Eden to win this year's Booker Prize, because this book is that kind of book that I really like, and yeah, I'll be like that much excited if this book wins. And yeah, I'm really rooting for this other Eden to win this year's Booker Prize. And yeah, and we're 24 hours away, less than 24 hours away from getting to know if that happens or not. But as I said, I'm excited, and I believe you are as well. And we can just wait and see who wins. Whoever wins, it was really an enjoyable ride following this year's Booker Prize and reading the selected books. And I have read 8 books out of the 13. Yeah, and let's wait for tomorrow. Till then, goodbye.